Tom Roehl, and I teach at Moraine Park Technical College in the Quality and Advanced Manufacturing Technology program. I'm here today to talk to you about the career of manufacturing engineering technician. Manufacturing engineering technicians work for companies that make parts, often in metal. And what a manufacturing engineering technician does is they determine the process of how parts should get made. They design fixtures, they determine tooling, and write programs needed to make those parts, and they improve processes for parts already being made. Now, this may not make a lot of sense as it stands, but there's things that these people do as well, such as program CNC machines, program robots, design fixtures. Those are part of the duties. But if you look at this page here, this kind of helps. What manufacturing engineering technicians do is they take a part once it's been designed. So you see on the left, there's a model of a part, and in the center, you'll see there's a drawing of the part. And then on the right side, you see the finished part. So what manufacturing engineering technicians do is they take that part once it's been designed, once there's a drawing for it, and they come up with the processes and anything else associated with getting that part made. These people usually are not the ones that actually run the product on the shop floor, but instead they prepare all of the processes so it's ready to get made. Think of some products maybe that you're familiar with. On the left, we see a playground set. This is similar to something that, there's a company in North Fond du Lac, BCI Burke, that makes product like this. There's a lot of parts that go into one of these playground systems. And what manufacturing engineering technicians do is they take the parts once they've been designed and they determine how those parts should actually get made. On the right, we see a boat motor. Obviously, Mercury Marine in Fond du Lac makes boat motors. And there's just a large number of parts, very complicated parts in these boat motors. And again, manufacturing engineering technicians take these parts once they've been designed and come up with the best way to get those parts made. Once the parts are being made, these people also go out to the shop floor and they troubleshoot problems and any sort of issues that the company might be having with making that product, whether it be efficiency, whether it be quality. These manufacturing engineering technicians, they'll troubleshoot problems and come up with solutions to make these parts in a better way. In a day, there's a lot of different things that a manufacturing engineering technician might do. As I said in the previous slide, they'll design processes so that we can get product made. But then all of the things that are associated with getting that product made are something the manufacturing engineering technician would also do. They might design fixtures, determine tooling, write programs. And I talked about that a little earlier, but what we see on this slide is an example of a fixture that perhaps the manufacturing engineering technician might design. So it holds the part as it's being assembled or being machined, for example. Something else that the manufacturing engineering technician might do is write a program for a CNC machine. Now, a CNC machine is a computer numerically controlled machine, and it cuts parts. Okay, so it uses sharp tools like a drill, for example, to drill holes in a part, or end mills to cut slots in a part. And these machines that are run by computers need to be programmed. That's something else that a manufacturing engineering technician might do, is program these machines. And as I touched on earlier, these manufacturing engineering technicians might work with people on the shop floor as well on a regular basis. When there's problems or when we want to improve how something's being made, they'll get out onto the shop floor pretty regularly. So one nice thing about being a manufacturing engineering technician is that you're doing a lot of different things in a day's time. It's not a monotonous type position where you're doing the same thing every day. You're not sitting in front of the computer the entire day. You're up and moving around, working with people, but there is still some work in the office as well. And like I say, there's quite a variety in tasks and duties that you're doing. Regarding education and qualifications, most manufacturing engineering technicians have some sort of education beyond high school. Many have a 2-year associate degree or a 2-year technical diploma from a technical college. Some have 4-year bachelor degrees. Most have some on-the-job training. So in other words, you're learning skills that are specific to that company and how that company does things. Most manufacturing engineering technicians have good mechanical aptitude. What this means is that you can picture something. Maybe if someone describes a product or a part, you have a good feel for what that looks like because you can picture it in your mind. You can look at something and see how it's going to fit together. You can look at another part or process and just have a good feel by nature if it's going to work or not. Also, most manufacturing engineering technicians have good problem-solving skills. Manufacturing engineering technicians have to solve a lot of problems. They have to troubleshoot, and again, that's an important part of the job. So beyond education, there are some skills required. And again, these depend on the needs of the employer. Many employers need people that have great knowledge of manufacturing processes. When I say manufacturing processes, some examples are machining processes or welding processes. And again, this is something that you would pick up as you go to school and also as you work on the job. As with most positions, the ability to communicate effectively is very important. There is some math involved generally with being a manufacturing engineering technician. Usually it's not something that's overly difficult, but it's simply applying standard formulas and things like that. Certainly there's an advantage as well to be familiar with technology and to have the ability to utilize various software packages. And this isn't really any more difficult than some of the things that people use in school. It's just some other softwares. And as long as you're comfortable on computers, you're usually in pretty good shape. Most manufacturing engineering technicians, once they're established, will earn somewhere in the range of $20 to $30 per hour. And usually people work around 2,000 hours a year at a minimum, so that translates to 40 to 60,000 per year. One advantage of working as a manufacturing engineering technician is that if you're working in manufacturing, most employers usually offer some additional benefits such as health insurance, vacation, retirement contributions. And as one grows a little older and has a family potentially, these are some very important benefits. Some people might ask, well, what should I take in high school if I want to work in this field? Well, the first thing I would say is take some tech ed classes and see what you like to do. You might find that certain occupations or certain things such as welding or machining is something you really enjoy to do, or maybe you might find that it's something you don't like to do. And by taking some tech ed classes, you really start to get a feel for some things that perhaps you're good at, and also things that you enjoy. You do need to use some math in this profession, and really in a lot of professions. So it's good if you challenge yourself and take the next highest level of math, even if you're not quite comfortable with it. And as I said before, it's very important that you can communicate well, both verbally and in written form. So English classes certainly are of great benefit as well. I was asked if I had any extra advice, and one thing I would say is plan on learning things throughout your career. Even if you go to school, there might be some things that you learn, but that certainly will not carry you to retirement. You've always got to be learning new things, and there's a lot of different ways to do this. You can take classes, you can learn on the job. A good way to learn is to take on new responsibilities as well. I've seen companies where certain people kind of get comfortable in a position and they don't want to move from that one to something new. Maybe if the company gets a new machine, they're unwilling to move to that machine and learn how to run it. And unfortunately, employers need you to expand your value. Okay, so if you want to increase your income, you need to increase your value, and that's something to think about as you move forward. But anyways, hopefully I gave you some feel for what a manufacturing engineering technician does. There's plenty of opportunities out there, and I thank you for your time and wish you well.